Mom's changed a lot since leaving Dad. It's not so much a change, it's just her being what she always wanted to be. I don't know if she always wanted to own a house in Moab, but I do know the thought process she definitely had was, now I can, so now I'm going to. Dad likes to take the lead. Dad likes to take the next step. Dad likes to make the plan, follow the plan, stick to the plan. David is a phenomenal support. David is happy to take a step back and just say, I will be here for a trust
Hi,
fall.
friends. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. There's more legal trouble involving someone connected to Sister Wives. The show, which has been on TLC for 15 years, rarely shows the legal issues that happen behind the scenes. For example, when Cody and Peyton were sued and had to pay damages for a car crash, the show never mentioned it. There have also been several cases involving the police that viewers never heard about unless they followed the news. The only time a legal case was shown was when the family sued the state of Utah. In general, anything that could make the cast look bad is usually left out of the show, which isn't unusual for reality TV. This happens with other shows too. For instance, when Kim Plath from Welcome to Plathville was arrested for DUI, TLC didn't say a word about it. Most fans only found out through news reports, not the show. Now, new legal problems are surrounding Christine's stepson, Max. In just a few months, Max has been arrested 4 times. He's now facing felony charges for stealing cars and possessing burglary tools. Something serious is clearly happening in his life. On Monday, 2 arrest warrants were issued in Utah for Max. One was based on a charge from March involving a stolen car and a firearm. This charge is a second-degree felony. The court ordered that Max should be arrested and taken to the Salt Lake County Jail, although as of now, he hasn't been taken into custody. He must appear in court soon. His bail has been raised from $5,000 to $25,000. The judge who issued the warrant is Patrick Coram. On the same day, another arrest warrant was issued by the same judge in a separate case. This one also involves car theft and burglary tools. It's another second-degree felony and carries a $25,000 bail. The Bluffdale Police Department issued the arrest warrant. So now, Max has 2 active warrants for theft-related crimes. Looking at the court records, Max was caught 3 different times in March with stolen cars. The first incident happened on March 6th. A police officer saw a copper Jeep Wrangler that matched a report of a stolen vehicle. The officer pulled it over and found Max driving it. He didn't have a valid license. After being read his rights, Max admitted to driving the stolen Jeep. He was arrested for that. The second incident took place on March 12th. A traffic officer got an alert that another car was stolen. After confirming it, the officer pulled over the car and arrested the driver. Max was a passenger. When the officer searched Max, they found burglary tools like window breakers and a face mask in his pockets. The officer also noticed damage to the car windows, suggesting the tools had been used to break in. The third incident happened on March 21st. A police officer saw a silver car speed through a stop sign. When he tried to stop the car, it sped away and eventually crashed near a trash can. The doors were open and no one was inside. Officers found Max nearby. At first, Max said he was only a passenger and someone else was driving. But after the officers spoke to the person Max claimed was the driver, that person said they had nothing to do with it. When Max was questioned again, he admitted he had been driving and had fled the scene. The car was later confirmed to be stolen. Altogether, Max was arrested on March 6th, March 12th, and March 21st. He faces serious charges including car theft, running from police, reckless driving, damage to property, and having tools used for breaking into vehicles. These are not small issues. The legal system is now actively pursuing him, and he could be facing heavy consequences. These serious legal troubles are not something the show has ever mentioned or acknowledged. While TLC presents the show as a family-centered program, many important and sometimes troubling details about their real lives remain hidden from viewers. And unless fans follow court records or police reports, they may never know the full story. During a police search of the car, officers found Maddox's passport inside a black bag that didn't belong to him. The other items in the same bag also weren't his. Based on what they discovered, the officers believed they had enough reason to arrest him. He was charged with several serious offenses: having a stolen car, using and making burglary tools, having tobacco as someone underage, and stealing a motor vehicle. Maddox is currently 19 years old, and in Utah, anyone under 21 is not legally allowed to vape. So, that offense also added to the list of charges. Authorities believe the evidence clearly supports the charges against him. The court documents also say that releasing him on bail could put the community at risk or make it likely that Maddox might try to run from the law. Altogether, Maddox was charged on 3 different days in March, the 6th, 12th, and 21st, each time with a different stolen vehicle. He was charged with car theft in all 3 incidents. Then, in June, he was arrested again, this time for marijuana possession. Interestingly, that case was dismissed. It's unclear why, but it stands out considering his other ongoing legal problems. The stolen car cases were reported in different areas of Utah. One case happened in Utah County, which has already been handled by the courts. Maddox has been sentenced for that one. But the other 2 cases are still open in Salt Lake County, and that's where the 2 recent arrest warrants came from earlier this week. The incident in Utah County took place on March 21st. In that case, Maddox admitted guilt. He pleaded guilty to a 3rd-degree felony for stealing a vehicle and to not stopping when ordered by police. The judge sentenced him to a possible prison term of up to 5 years. However, that prison sentence was suspended, which means he won't go to prison right away. Instead, he was given another chance, but with conditions. He was ordered to serve 27 days in jail, but he had already served that time, so he was credited for it. Now he's on probation. As part of his probation, Maddox must complete either his GED or high school diploma. If he does, he'll get $215 credit toward the fines he owes. He's been placed on probation for a total of 36 months, that's 3 years, and will be supervised by adult probation and parole officers. His probation rules are strict. He must report to his officer regularly and follow all the rules given. He has to create a personal action plan to reduce his risk of reoffending. He must not break any more laws, except for minor traffic offenses. He also needs to keep the probation office updated with his current address, phone number, and email. In addition, Maddox has been ordered to go through both a substance abuse evaluation and a mental health assessment. If treatment is recommended, he must go through with it and take any medications prescribed. These conditions are meant to help him avoid further trouble while giving him a chance to turn his life around. Maddox has been ordered to follow several important rules while on probation. He must take theft reform classes and participate in positive, approved activities. He is also required to finish his high school education or get a GED. He's not allowed to use or have alcohol, marijuana, THC products, or visit places that sell them. Even if recreational marijuana is legal in another state, he's still not allowed to use it. Only medical marijuana is allowed, and only if it meets Utah's specific laws. He also has to sign release forms, including HIPAA forms, so the probation office can get important information. Maddox cannot talk to or meet any co-defendants unless probation gives him permission. His next court hearing is on August 6th. In one case, he was given probation instead of jail time, with the understanding that he would follow all the conditions. But despite that, he failed to show up for court on 2 separate cases in Salt Lake County. These missed court appearances led to warrants being issued for his arrest. On top of that, just a few days after being sentenced and told not to use any drugs, Maddox was arrested again on June 1st in Utah County. He was charged with having marijuana, which is considered a Class B misdemeanor. This was a direct violation of his probation terms. The records say he knowingly used a controlled substance, and the second charge that day was for having drug paraphernalia, also a Class B misdemeanor. The documents don't describe the exact paraphernalia, but the case was eventually dismissed by the city and sent to the county prosecutor. That could be because Maddox is already on probation, and violating it with drug use might lead to bigger consequences. So just days after agreeing to follow the rules and getting a suspended prison sentence, he was caught with marijuana. This shows a serious pattern. Maddox has struggled with the law for years. He lost his mother at a very young age, around 5 or 6, and since then, he's faced many personal challenges. In just a few months, he's been arrested multiple times, especially for stealing cars. At the moment, he's not being held in jail in Utah County or Salt Lake County. He's been in and out of jail over the past 4 months. Earlier in July, he was moved from a jail in Utah County to Salt Lake County, but right now, he doesn't appear on the inmate lists for either location. Still, the warrants for his arrest are active. Once he's caught, there's a good chance he won't be granted bail, especially since he's already broken the rules of his probation. Despite all of this, Christine and David, who are closely connected to him, haven't made any public comments. They've been traveling across Europe and Utah, spending time with Truly and focusing on Christine's upcoming book. Nothing has been said about Maddox's legal troubles, and it's unclear if the show's sister wives will ever mention any of it. Serious issues like these are often left out of the series to protect the show's image. Maddox is only 19, but his legal history is already intense. If mental health or addiction is behind his behavior, he needs serious help. Hopefully, he gets the support he needs before it's too late.